Hello book besties! I cannot believe that I'm sitting here about to record my July TBR, but here's to hoping that July ends up with a lot of really good books for me and for you. As always, I have some books that I have to read, so I'm going to go through those first. A couple new releases, book club picks, and then I will pick 5 books from here using a random number generator. I did better hand pick the books that are going on here that I think I'm very excited about reading, but we'll see once it's all curated if I want to swap one of them out. So let's just get right into this. One book that I will be reading in July, because the next book comes out in August, is Apprentice to the Villain. I read Assistant to the Villain almost an entire year ago. It was my very first Patreon book pick, and I'm pretty sure that the general consensus is, even after 10 months or so of book picks, Assistant to the Villain was the favorite of them all so far. That book so pleasantly shocked me how much I enjoyed it. It was one of the best times I've ever had reading a book, and that leaves me very excited to pick up Apprentice to the Villain. As most things go, when I'm really excited to read a book, it does not mean that I'm going to pick it up right away because there's so many books and so little time, but being that the next one is coming out has given me the urgency to finally read this one, and I will be buddy reading it with a few friends. If you are not familiar with the story, basically Evie takes a job as an assistant to a villain, and it is just laugh out loud funny, swoony, but adorably sweet. The characters in this book were amazing. There's a talking frog. Like, it is just adorable and such an entertaining good time. Almost 5 stars for me, so that is saying a lot about how good that first book is. So I have very high hopes and expectations that this one is going to be even better, or at least just as good. A couple of new releases that are coming out that I am so excited about. A lot of times I'll share new releases here, but I know that I may not get to them all as soon as they come out. But these 2 releases, I'm really hoping and planning to read them in July, like when they come out. And one of those is Jessa Hastings' Time of Your Life. This is so anticipated for me because apparently it is all things nostalgic for us 90s, early 2000s girlies, and that just speaks my language. Plus, having Jessa Hastings write it, who is, I think, one of the best authors of our time, her writing style just hits for me. I really hope that this is like a near perfect book. And then also Holly Jackson's new book is coming out in July. It's called Not Quite Dead Yet. As soon as I heard the synopsis on this book, like at the beginning of the year when I was looking up 2025 releases, this was a standout book for me. It sounds so good. I'm not a big thriller girly, but this book, from the synopsis, it sounds like it's a story about a girl who gets like assaulted and she ends up not remembering what happened. They definitely were trying to kill her, but she didn't end up dying, and so now she's trying to like recall her memories and piece it back together to figure out who it was that was trying to kill her. I just expect it to have me on the edge of my seat and very entertained. And then my Patreon book pick is Pictures of You by Emma Gray. This book, funny enough, was nominated for months and months in a row and was just never voted on. So it was kind of a plot twist that it finally was voted for. All I remember from the synopsis is that it has the amnesia trope, so let me look it up. It says Evie Hudson should be grieving her dead husband, but since the car crash that claimed his life and landed her in the hospital, she can't remember him at all. The only person who can help her piece her past together is her high school best friend, Drew Kennedy. When snippets of her memories start falling into place, Evie wonders how she ended up in a life that couldn't be further from the one she dreamed of. And this time around, she's seeing all the things she missed and the life she gets to choose again. It sounds so interesting and kind of ironic that I'm going to be reading 2 books with that like amnesia type of trope. Hopefully that goes over well and I enjoy them both, because I do think that's a trope that can be done really well or so far-fetched and not well at all. Fingers crossed that I end up loving both of these books. I think that's all for the books that I'm handpicking, so I'm going to open up the number generator and see what books get unwrapped from here. If you are new here and this is your first time seeing me do one of these videos, if there's one book at the end that I want to swap just based on the curated list as a whole, I can swap one of them out and try opening another book. Spin. Number 17. Oh my gosh, literally the best book that could have possibly been opened. My year, my month is totally made at this very moment. So so perfect. Couldn't have picked better if I was curating this myself. If I was curating my own TBR, in fact, this would have been top of the list for me. And I know you're like, well then Jordan, why don't you just put it on your TBR yourself? This is so much more fun, and it just means that it's meant to be. I've been waiting much too long. I don't think I would have been able to put it off much longer even if it wasn't opened, so I'm thrilled. If you are unaware and like what is happening right now, this is the sequel to Light Lark, and I read that book. I loved that book. It's one of my top of the year so far, and that's all. I think my enthusiasm speaks for itself. I don't think I'm going to open another book that's going to top this today. We have peaked. Next book, I'm going to try to be excited about the rest. I mean, there's a lot of books on here that I am excited about, but that was a really great start. Number 15. Karen Kingsbury, When We Were Young. This is actually a great choice. It's not one that I'm like so excited about, but I really love her books, specifically the Baxter Family series. It is the longest series ever. It's like series within a massive series, if that makes sense. And I'm this close to done reading all of them. I think I have like 3 left that involve the Baxter family, so I really do want to just finish. It's a goal for the year. They're very good if you like wholesome family drama with faith elements, but they're not like my favorite books of all time. However, I am happy to continue the series and get it off of the TBR, and so this is a great choice. This one in particular is one of the standalones, so you technically could read it without reading like all the other Baxter Family series, but I just really like reading things in a specific order. I think this one has like Christmas Carol vibes. This marriage is kind of struggling. The blurb says, what if you could see into the future and know what will happen tomorrow if you really walk out that door today? They were so in love and thriving, but I guess they were like social media famous, and Noah, the husband, his obsession with social media ruined everything. They have decided to call it quits, and he is leaving in the morning. But when he wakes up the next day, everything is different. Emily is gone and the kids are years older, and he starts experiencing bizarre and strange events, making him desperate for a second chance. This one actually sounds so good, so I'm actually very excited to finally read this one. And spin. Number 9. Promise Me Sunshine. Another one that I am ecstatic about. It is another one that if I was curating my own, I would have put this on there, so I'm very happy that it got opened. I fully expect this book to utterly rip my heart out, which I love that. Like, make me feel deep feelings, make me sob, and I will love it. And I really expect this book to do that. I've seen so many people get very emotional over this one and give it 5 stars. It is about a woman that's grieving the loss of her best friend, and she finds her life turned upside down when she meets a grumpy stranger who swears he can help her live again. He's gonna help her complete everything on her live again list if she helps him connect with his sister and overcome their complicated relationship. She doubts that anything can fill the void that her best friend has left behind, but between late night ferry rides, midnight ramen, and a well-placed shoulder whenever she needs it, Miles just won't stop showing up for her. And turns out, sometimes your life has to end to find your new beginning. My expectations for this one are really high. And next. Number 7. The Extraordinary Life of Mrs. Kipp. Guys, this TBR is perfect. I literally am shocked at the books that I'm opening up that I was most excited to read anyways. I've seen so many people reading and absolutely loving this book, and it just bumped it up so high on my TBR. And I keep saying it, but this is another one that I would have put on if I was curating my own. Another one that I expect to kind of rip my heart out, but I never tire of that, as weird as that may sound. This woman is writing an obituary for an unremarkable woman who's just entered hospice care. But there's more to Clara Kipp than meets the eye. She may be dying, but she's not quite ready to cash it in yet. And never one to shy away from an assignment herself, she can see that God brought the young reporter into her life for a reason, and that if it's a story that Aidan Kelly wants, that's just what Miss Kipp will give her, but she's gonna have to work for it. I just expect to be fully inspired by this one. The elderly really inspire me, and I have such a deep love for elderly people. I think that they are so overlooked in society. I would spend hours and hours a day if I could, just sitting and talking to elderly and hearing their stories and learning from them, and we don't get to do that in real life very often, and so I expect this book is gonna like give me all of those types of feelings and just leave me feeling so hopeful and inspired, but probably equally wrecked. And last book, so far I do not intend to swap any of these out. Let's see what the last book is. Number 5. An Ember in the Ashes. This is perfect because somehow I have like no romantasy on my list this month. And other than Apprentice to the Villain, I don't have any vibes like that on my list. So this is perfect because I love to have at least one fantasy or romantasy on my TBR. That is like one of my favorite genres. Plus it's a book that has been on my TBR for 10 years. I think like a ridiculous amount of time. So I'm finally going to read it, hopefully. And hopefully I love it and it'll have been worth the like 10-year wait. I do not know how to pronounce these names, so bear with me. Leia? Her brother is arrested for treason and she's forced to make a decision. In exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, she will risk her life to spy for them from within the Empire's greatest military academy. There, she meets Elias, the school's finest soldier and secretly its most unwilling. He and Leia will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined and that their choices will change the fate of the Empire itself. Ooh, that sounds very, very good. That's a wrap. I am not swapping any of these books out. So here is my July TBR plus the Patreon book pick and 2 new releases. Let me know what is high on your TBR in July. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have not hit subscribe yet but you enjoyed this, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around. I sincerely hope that your July is amazing and that your books are amazing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Go read a book.